Tony Allen steps onto the court, full of confidence. The Celtics are shorthanded, and he finally gets a real chance to shine. He slices past defenders, crashes the boards, and throws down dunks like it's nothing. Every possession, he's attacking. He's got 19 points, and the fourth quarter hasn't even started. Just weeks earlier, he dropped 30 in a game. Not bad for someone who only played 1 year of high school basketball. The locker room buzzes with energy. His teammates pat him on the back. Coaches nod in approval. The kid's proving himself. Then it happens. On a fast break, Tony skies for a dunk. His knee buckles as he lands. He collapses. Pain shoots through his leg. He knows something's wrong. The crowd goes silent. The next day, it's confirmed, a torn ACL. His season is over. But it's worse than that. The explosive first step, the 40-inch vertical, the bounce that got him here, gone. He's not the same player anymore. Tony fights to get back. He returns the next season, but everything feels off. The moves that used to work now fall flat. Layups rim out. Jumpers miss badly. His confidence is shaky. On top of that, the Celtics have reloaded. Pierce is back. They've added Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen. There's no longer a spot for a struggling shooting guard. Tony sits on the Celtics bench, towel over his head. Another DNP. Another game watching from the sidelines. He used to dream of the NBA. Now he's wondering how long he's got left in it. But then something clicks. Back in 2005, Kobe Bryant lit him up so badly, he fouled out in 8 minutes. It haunted him. He remembered the embarrassment, the frustration. That feeling never left. So Tony makes a vow that would never happen again. He starts watching film obsessively. He hauls a heavy laptop everywhere, loaded with clips of his next matchup. He studies every pump fake, every crossover, every angle of every possession. Before each game, Tony already knows his opponent's habits better than they do. Paul Pierce notices the work ethic. He starts pulling Tony aside, offers him cash bonuses to step up in practice, dunk incentives in Summer League. They battle one-on-one almost every day. Pierce doesn't take it easy. He beats Tony over and over again until one day, Tony starts winning. Late in the 2007 season, Boston faces the Lakers. Rondo is out, and Doc Rivers needs someone to step up. Tony gets the call. This time, Kobe doesn't dominate. Tony sticks to him like glue. Every jumper contested. Every drive met with resistance. Kobe shoots 6, 4, 25. Celtics win. Tony doesn't say much. He just nods. He knows he's back, not as the scorer he once was, but as something different. Something better. Then the playoffs come. Boston cruises through the East. They need everyone locked in for the finals against the Lakers. Tony doesn't play much, but when he does, his job is clear: slow down Kobe. In Game 5, with Bryant heating up, Doc throws Tony into the fire. Just like December, Tony makes life hell for him. Kobe still gets his points, but every shot is a grind. Every possession is a war. Boston wins the series 4-2. They're champions. Champagne sprays in the locker room. Tony gets a ring. But deep down, he doesn't feel like a real part of it. Limited minutes. A bench role. He wants more. Next season, injuries hit again. This time it's his thumb. His ankle. He plays just 46 games. Garnett goes down too, and with him, Boston's title hopes. Tony thinks maybe this is the opening he needs. Maybe now he'll finally get his chance to break through. But when the playoffs start, his minutes disappear again. 6 minutes per game. Celtics fall in the second round. Another year, another what if. Tony knows one thing for sure: he has 1 year left on his contract. If he doesn't prove himself in 2009 to 2010, he's out of the league. He misses the first 20 games with an ankle sprain. But when he returns, something's different. Doc starts to notice. Tony can't shoot. He can't finish consistently. But he's everywhere on defense. He's cutting off passing lanes, smothering ball handlers, reading plays like a quarterback. In the playoffs, the Celtics run into LeBron and the Cavaliers. Boston's down 2-1. LeBron is on a tear, 35, then 38 points. Doc needs a solution. He turns to Tony Allen. As soon as he's on the court, the momentum shifts. LeBron can't breathe. Tony is on him like a shadow. 6 feet 9 inches wingspan stretched out, eyes locked in, every move anticipated. LeBron finishes with 22 points on 7, 4, 18 shooting. Celtics win. Doc keeps Tony in rotation. Game after game, he frustrates LeBron, forces bad shots, and changes the series. Boston advances. The Magic are next. Tony doesn't face a superstar scorer, but JJ Redick's movement and screens make him dangerous. Tony studies every play Orlando runs. He anticipates screens, fights through them like they aren't even there. Then it's the finals. Lakers again. Kobe again. This time, Tony is obsessed. He studies every detail, even picks up on Kobe speaking Spanish to Pau Gasol. Whenever Kobe switches languages, it means a backdoor cut is coming. Tony doesn't understand the words, but he reads the pattern. He's ready. Kobe struggles. ESPN reports he's shooting 5 for 19 when guarded by Tony Allen. Celtics go up 3-2. One win away from a title. But then it unravels. In Game 6, Kobe breaks through with 26 points. Game 7, something feels off. Tony bites on a pump fake, the first time in years. Doc pulls him after just 5 minutes. He never returns. The Lakers win. Kobe gets his revenge. Boston's title run is over. Tony is furious. He's angry at Document. He's frustrated with Danny Ainge, who won't offer him the contract he feels he's earned. So Tony makes a decision. He leaves Boston. Memphis calls. Tony answers. Memphis doesn't look like a dream destination. No championships. No playoff wins. Just a small market team trying to find an identity. But Tony sees something no one else does. Zach Randolph, the bruising forward they call Zebo, is hitting his prime. Marc Gasol, the younger brother of Pau, is turning into one of the league's best big men. Mike Conley's a quiet leader, but a tenacious defender. Rudy Gay is their scorer. The roster is talent, but something's missing. Tony fills the gap. It starts slow. He's not a starter, still fighting for minutes. But everything changes in February 2011. The Grizzlies destroy the Thunder, and Tony drops a statement after the game. Grit and grind, he says. The phrase sticks. What started as a jab at Rudy Gay for sitting out with a sore toe becomes the team's identity. The FedEx Forum gets a new name, the Grindhouse. Opponents know what's coming. Nothing flashy. Just pain, pressure, and defense. The Grizzlies barely squeak into the playoffs as the 8th seed. Everyone expects a sweep. Their opponent? The number 1 seed, the San Antonio Spurs. But Memphis isn't afraid. They've been planning this. Rested starters on purpose to face the Spurs. They know Manu Ginobili's hurt, even if he won't admit it. Memphis is ready. Game 1. Down 2. 30 seconds left. One stop can seal the game. Tony locks in. Chases his man over a screen. Stays in front. Forces a tough shot. Mississippi rebound Memphis. Ball game. The Grizzlies take Game 1. Then Game 3. Then Game 6. Tony shuts down Manu. Hounds him all series. For the first time in franchise history, the Memphis Grizzlies win a playoff series, and they do it by taking down the best team in the West. The league takes notice. Tony gets named to the NBA All-Defensive Second Team. For a guy who couldn't score in double digits consistently, that's validation. But the next challenge is even tougher. The young, hungry Oklahoma City Thunder. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Serge Ibaka. A team built for the future. But Tony doesn't care. He studies Durant like a final exam. KD has 8 inches on him, but Tony knows his tendencies inside out. Game after game, he battles. Holds Durant to 43% shooting and just 25 points per game, low by KD's standards. Tony's up in his jersey, chest to chest, fighting through every screen, cutting off angles. But in the deciding game, Durant goes nuclear. 39 points. Unstoppable. Tony throws everything at him, but nothing sticks. Oklahoma City moves on. Tony sits in his locker. Devastated. Not because he lost, but because he gave it everything, and it still wasn't enough. He can't sleep that night. But deep down, he knows something important. He belongs. He might never average 20 points. He might never hit 5 threes in a game. But coaches trust him. Teammates respect him. Superstars hate facing him. Tony Allen is a problem. The 2011 to 2012 season starts with chaos. A lockout threatens the whole year. But on Christmas Day, the NBA returns. Memphis picks up right where they left off. Tony is a starter now and a nightmare for opposing guards. He sets a franchise record with 8 steals in a game against Cleveland. The Grizzlies finish as the 4th seed. But the first-round opponent is different this time, the Clippers. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, Lob City. Memphis jumps out to a 3-1 series lead, then it slips away. Game 7. The Clippers pull away late. Vinny Del Negro uses a sneaky strategy. He completely ignores Tony on offense, daring him to shoot. On defense, they relentlessly attack him to draw fouls. Tony fouls out. Memphis loses. Season over. Again. But Tony doesn't whine. Doesn't point fingers. He rewatches the entire series. Breaks down every screen, every possession. He knows the only way forward is through more work. He's not done. Not even close. Tony Allen walks back into the grindhouse for another season, but something feels different. There's a quiet fire in him now. Unfinished business. It's 2013. The Grizzlies are back in the playoffs. And their first-round opponent? The Clippers. The same team that embarrassed them last year. The same coach, the same stars, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. This time, Tony is ready. Game 1 and 2 don't go as planned. Chris Paul hits a fadeaway dagger over Tony to seal Game 2. On the flight home, Tony replays the moment over and over in his head. He remembers letting CP3 go right his strong hand. That can't happen again. In Game 3, Tony forces Paul left every possession. The Clippers' offense stalls. Memphis ties the series. Then in practice, disaster strikes. Blake Griffin lands on a teammate's foot. Bad ankle sprain. He tries to play Game 5, but can't move. Tony smells blood. Game 6, he heads to the free throw line 11 times, sinking 9. Memphis completes the comeback, a reverse sweep. 4 straight wins. Clippers eliminated. But Tony's already studying their next opponent, the Thunder. No Westbrook. No Harden. Just Durant. But KD is locked in. Drops 35 in Game 1. Tony doesn't panic. In fact, Memphis has a plan. Coach Hollins doesn't even put Tony on Durant. Instead, he uses him to lock down every other weapon. Tony takes away passing lanes. Turns drives into turnovers. He's everywhere. The plan works. The Grizzlies win 4-1. Next up, the Spurs. Tony knows Popovich hasn't forgotten 2011 when Memphis stunned San Antonio as an 8 seed. Pop wants revenge, and he's got a plan. Leave Tony Allen open. Game after game, the Spurs let him shoot. Wide open. Nobody guards him. Tony's confidence wavers. His shots miss badly. Layups roll off. San Antonio exposes his biggest flaw, and Memphis has no answer. They get swept. Tony sits alone in the locker room. Again. So close, and again not enough. But he doesn't quit. 1. New coach. New challenge. They face Durant again. This time, Tony's back on him. 2. Reporters ask him how he slips through giant screens like Kendrick Perkins. Tony just shrugs. You just don't get screened. Simple. Effective. He locks Durant down. Memphis leads the series 3-2. The grindhouse is ready to explode. But then Durant strikes. 36 points in Game 6. Zach Randolph punches Steven Adams before Game 7 and gets suspended. Memphis loses. To make it worse, Tony, despite his lockdown defense on Durant, isn't selected to any all-defensive team. No award. No recognition. Just silence. Tony doesn't complain. He goes back to work. 1. Tony averages just 26 minutes, but still ranks 4th in the league in steals. They call him the Grind Father now. He's a legend in Memphis. They even hand out pepper grinders in the arena in his honor. 2. Grizzlies win 55 games. Best team in franchise history. First round matchup? Portland. Lillard and Aldridge get smothered. Memphis moves on. Second round. Golden State. The Warriors are revolutionizing the league. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson shooting from deep. Steve Kerr coaching a new style of basketball. Fast, fluid, deadly. Tony studies every clip. Watches how they torch the Pelicans in round 1. He starts Game 2 like a man possessed. Steals the ball from Klay twice. Dunks on the break. Screams into the crowd. The Grizzlies win Game 2. Then Game 3. But there's a problem. That dunk tweaked his hamstring. Tony doesn't sit. He plays Game 4, but he's not the same. Then Kerr makes a brilliant adjustment. He puts Andrew Bogut on Tony. Not to guard him, just to ignore him. Bogut camps in the paint. Helps on every drive. Memphis can't score. Tony misses Game 5. Warriors take control. Golden State wins the series and the championship. The window in Memphis begins to close. 1. Gasol breaks his foot. Conley goes down. Tony plays through injury again. The team uses 28 different players. They still make the playoffs. But San Antonio crushes them. Another first-round exit. 2. 3. Same story. Tony strains his calf. He misses the series against the Spurs. The grindhouse is quiet. The run is over. 4. The offers don't come. Except one, New Orleans. DeMarcus Cousins and Rajon Rondo call. They want his leadership. His grit. Tony signs. But it doesn't last. He's injured. Then benched. Barely sees the floor. The season ends. So does Tony Allen's NBA career. No farewell tour. No all-star send-off. Just the legacy of a man who couldn't score but still outplayed everyone. NBA champion. 6-time all-defensive selection. Memphis retires his jersey, number 9 in the rafters forever. They called him the Grind Father. He didn't need a jump shot. Just heart, effort, defense, and the will to never back down.